Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, July 9th, 2013. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And in accordance with Mass General Law, I have to announce that this meeting is being recorded by the East Long Meadow Cable Access and also by the Selectmen's office. And I have to ask if anyone else is recording it. Seeing none, we can proceed. We have no one signed up for the public forum between 6 and 6 p.m., so we can take care of some of the more or less housekeeping items. Might as well start with the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the open session minutes of June 11th, 2013?
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second?
Oh.
It's okay. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the executive session minutes of June 11th, 2013?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll do the meetings, invitations, and reminders. Board of Selectmen's meeting, our next meeting is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2013 at 6 p.m. in the Town Hall Hearing Room. The meeting after that is, our next meeting after that is Tuesday, August 6th, 2013 at 5 p.m. in East Long Meadow High School front room. We're meeting before the National Night Out. And in correspondence with that, the next notice is that the Police Department's National Night Out is Tuesday, August 6th, 2013 from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. At the high school. And just to let my fellow board members know, the last 2 years, the board was the judges for the car show, so be prepared
Okay.
in case they ask us.
Okay. Exactly what are we judging?
No,
Will we get a list of criteria?
No, it was just,
Oh,
no,
it's just
it's,
preference.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
all right. Now, Nick, as far as appointments, do we have to stick to schedule, or if the people are here, can we just take them now? It's not like a hearing, right?
It is not a hearing.
Okay, are you expecting anyone else, Bill?
We are.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Then I will hold off. Why don't we go to the old business for the moment? Sheila McGallies is looking for the additional use of the Little Red Schoolhouse for Heart Song Yoga. She has a request to add additional classes on Friday nights for 8 months from 5:30 to 9 p.m. And it's been approved by Jean Delaney, who actually is the one in charge of making the appointments and
Cultural.
scheduling and cultural affairs.
Cultural affairs, yeah.
Is there a motion to allow this additional use of the Little Red Schoolhouse?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item, Nick, is consideration of calling a special town meeting, and I believe, based on what was written, the best time is October 7th, it seems, for all concerned that would fit into our time schedule.
That's at the board's pleasure, but October 7th is a date that the moderator's available and seems to fit well with other financial considerations of the town.
Okay. And is this something, do we have to prove this tonight, or I know you said something about the 23rd being the sort of the drop dead date?
Ideally, by the 23rd at the latest. That way you would allow for time, if there are petition warrant articles out there, to come in, allow for at least a couple of weeks for those to be submitted, signatures and so forth, with a special town meeting. Recall there's a 100 signature requirement.
Do any of the board members need additional time to, I know we sort of threw this date around before.
It's fine with me.
To check anything, or are you fine with that?
It's my anniversary.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, nothing like spending your anniversary at a special town meeting.
Yeah.
Didn't you spend your birthday at, didn't you have a birthday at one of yours?
No, never one of those. Is there a motion to approve October 7th as a designated date for the special town meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I guess I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, then could I ask one follow-up question, maybe in a broad sense, of whether or not there are any warrant articles that the board may want to start thinking about for, for the board itself to put on, specifically regarding municipal space. if that could be, if the
Yes.
individual members could give that some thought.
Okay.
I'd like to ask if, put that on the agenda for the next meeting for
Okay,
discussion.
that's fine. And are we gonna, I assume we're gonna set a deadline for all warrant items for this meeting?
I will present a timeline, proposed timeline
Next meeting?
for the board
Okay.
to consider.
Great.
Through the chairman, I
Mhm.
will be visiting other department heads prior to my desire to resubmit a redrafted personnel policy warrant. So I'll get to work with getting together with all those who had some comments and concerns prior to that.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
good.
And you'll get the time, excuse me, just to reiterate, Nick, you're going to give us a timeline as to when you need to have those warrant articles, et cetera?
I was going to propose a timeline. If the board wanted to take a moment or two and look at the calendar now, we
Sure.
could do that.
No.
Or if you want to, wait and just settle it at that point. At least tomorrow, starting tomorrow, anyone who has a petition could go and get the paperwork and get started
Okay,
on that.
great.
And then
Okay.
with the idea, they could be informed that a deadline will be set at the board
That
meeting
would be
for the
great.
23rd.
Yeah, we can
That
tell
would be
That's
great,
fine.
yeah.
Okay,
Very good.
thank you. Next item is Maya, we got a rewards credit of I believe it's $8,802. So that's insurance reimbursement in effect. And then next item, we have to reappoint our inspectors on an annual basis. We can go down the list as it's presented, and I'll request your approvals. Is there a motion to approve Ed Legue as the electrical and wiring inspector for the term of July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2014?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to approve Anthony Curdo for the plumbing and gas inspector for the period July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2014?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve Rudy Croisy as inspector of weights and measures for the period July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2014?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve, is it Slipu?
Skliopo.
Skliopo? Stevenson Skliopo, as the alternate electrical and wiring inspector for the period July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2014.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Do we only just have one? Or
One more.
has there ever been a time when we've had more than one alternate? It's just a question.
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No.
And we've never had a need for more than one?
Just the one alternate.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And is there a motion to approve Carl Zimmerman as the alternate?
Whoop, all in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
That's
Is
okay.
there a motion to approve Carl Zimmerman as the alternate plumbing and gas inspector for the term July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2014?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, we don't have to necessarily have to do the building commissioner, but should we?
That was just a note in case you were wondering why he wasn't,
Okay.
he was appointed.
So usually he gets appointed to a 5-year term.
The board, that was the board's decision last year.
Okay, thanks. Under new business, we unfortunately have a resignation letter from Mike Prisbilowitz of the Planning Board effective July 26, 2013. I believe he's taking a job and moving out of the area. And I also believe that the procedure to replace him is that person is chosen by both the Board of Selectmen and the remaining Planning Board members. The only thing I'm not sure of is how we get a group of potential candidates.
Mr. Chairman, if I could explain just some of the conversations that I've had with the planning director and town council. You're correct in your assessment where the Board of Selectmen and the remaining members of the planning board would make that appointment, which will run until the next annual town election, and then the remainder of the term would be for an open seat, including that candidate, which in this case would be for an additional year. The question to the board is, well, first, The board also needs to receive from the planning board a formal written notice that this has occurred other than the one that you've received,
Right.
been copied on. And the planning director intends to ask the planning board to send that letter, to sign that letter, and then send it at their next meeting, which is a week from this evening. There's a 30-day requirement there, but the clock, according to council, really doesn't start ticking until July 26th. But in the meantime, if the letter comes in, the question that I would have for the board is, I believe that the last time this happened, that the administration of gathering resumes or putting a notice out there, gathering of the resumes was handled through the planning office, with copies of that material being forwarded to the Board of Selectmen, and then a decision as to when the two boards could get together to, either to interview, make appointments, and so forth. If you look further out, probably looking at no sooner than August 20th or 27th, something like that, to give maybe 3 weeks, a month to see who would be available,
Okay.
would be interested.
Okay.
So if the board is okay with that plan, I could at least let the planning director know that, once the board gets the letter here, which would be out of meeting, but it would still be a notice that they could proceed with the notice and so forth.
That's fine with me, because obviously the person's going to be working with the planning board, so it's fine that they take the point, as they have in the past, on gathering all the potential candidates, and then we can figure out a process to vet them down, so.
Yeah. So we'll see the resumes and they'll send it to us.
All right. Next item. Another use of the Little Red Schoolhouse. Emily Bracht is requesting to utilize the Little Red Schoolhouse for a Kids Card Club meeting once a month on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's been approved by Jean Delaney also. Is there a motion to approve the use of the Little Red Schoolhouse for this event?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And there's a request from St. Michael's Parish to utilize a portion of town property, once again, the Little Red Schoolhouse, for a Bible camp, July 15th through July 18th, 2013, from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., and the insurance has been received, from what I can gather.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve this use of the Little Red Schoolhouse?
There is a motion to approve with the recommendations of the police department.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion other than that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good, thank you. Let's see. You're still waiting on someone?
Yeah,
Okay.
here, just a couple.
No problem. We'll just, we'll go to, let's see, we had some correspondence. Nick, we had a notification from the DHCD, which was the Department of Housing and Community Development, I believe, regarding multifamily housing, and the building commissioner's been notified. And we have a request from the town of Wareham regarding support for House Bill H1115 relative to low and moderate income housing, which I believe we had some information on in our packets.
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
How does that benefit us to support that?
I believe in reading the material
Yeah.
as proposed, what it would allow for is a broader definition of low to moderate income housing for a town to meet the 10% requirement
Okay.
for that housing. They are proposing, the selectmen from Wareham are proposing that housing such as mobile homes be included in that.
Right, and we don't have any mobile homes, to my knowledge.
Not to mine either, but apparently
Okay.
in Wareham they do, and it would make a difference in their case.
Okay.
So they're looking to see if other boards across the state would support the bill.
Okay, thanks, Nick. It's your pleasure, but would you like to get into the health department with the understanding that when they're...
Sure, when
We
they're,
can get started.
It's up to you. I mean, if you'd rather have a full contingent, that's fine with us. We can, it's up to you
it's
guys.
fine, we're flexible.
Yeah, we can go and get started. I think.
Okay.
Oh,
All righty.
okay.
The person should be here.
Well, come on up. How are you?
How you doing?
to Marina?
Marina,
Nice to meet you.
I'm Marina. Nice to meet you. Hi, how are you?
Ed Moses.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, thanks.
Hi, how are you, darling? Good to see
Are you part of the East Long Meadow Moses family?
I am.
Were you related to Joe?
Yeah, my uncle.
Yeah.
Is that the artist?
He's a good guy. Oh, okay.
And Carla?
Carlos' sister.
Yes.
All right, you are here. You want to do a fundraiser in honor of Brielle. So you're looking for a few things. Would you like to explain to us what you're planning on doing?
Sure. Well, this would actually be our 6th annual carnival. This year, we tried to bring it to East Long Meadow. In the past, it's been in Wilbraham.
Oh, okay.
We looked at having it at Heritage Park, something that, it's a more visible location, obviously, gives us a little bit more room, allows us to do a few different things. So we were planning on doing the carnival Saturday, July 20th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. 100% of the proceeds goes to Team Brielle's Brigade through the Pan Mass Challenge. The team is a team of cyclists, 13 cyclists that take part in the Pan Mass Challenge. And that's basically what we're looking at doing. All the town departments have reviewed our plans and what we're looking at doing that day. And we're looking for the approval. In the past, we've had a liquor license for beer and wine, and then also selling soft drinks and some food. So that's basically what we're.
How many people do you expect? What's the trend been in your last 6?
It's been about like 500 maybe, a little under. I think we'll definitely hit that number here in East Long Meadow. So we're truly excited. The support that we're going to receive here is going to be tremendous. It's going to be a nice family day.
Okay.
And that's associated with the Jimmy Fund too, right? I
Yes.
didn't hear you say that. Okay.
Jimmy Fund.
Yeah.
Fund and Dana Farber. Right?
Okay. All right. I had different
Right. Oh, yes.
pieces. I was like, wait a minute. Hopefully it's not this.
Right.
Hopefully it is the same thing because we would.
It is the same thing.
Okay. Great.
Is this,
This is our
Hey, Pete,
team
come
member,
on in,
Pete Pesolano.
Pete actually started the carnival.
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
That's okay. We were early.
Peter Pesolano.
Angela Clark.
Paul Federici, nice
Nice
to meet you.
Peter, nice to meet you. Deborah Bronski.
Nice to meet you.
We just got an overview of the event, what's going to happen in town, so we're ready to take care of these matters. I would like to make a motion for a one-day liquor license, beer and wine, for the Carnival for a Cure. And if I may, I don't know if I can do this as a blanket, but I'd like to request a waiver of all fees for every permit that has a fee. Do I have to do them individually, or can I do them as a group?
I think that's however you want to make the motion,
Okay.
and how the board wants to approve it.
Okay.
Because we've done this for nonprofits in the
Yes.
past.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, I'd like to, is there a motion for a one-day liquor license for beer and wine for the Carnival for a Cure with the fee waived?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Is there a motion to approve a temporary food service permit for the same event with the fees waived?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And also, is there a motion to approve an entertainment license with the fees waived for the same event?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Let's see, is this, is item D, is there an activities permit, or is that just, it just says activities?
There are various, I believe, bounce houses or
Okay.
other
Correct.
activities that are
Yes.
going to be
Okay,
on site, so it covers.
okay. Is,
few different-
so it covers all those different activities?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the various activities, licenses having to do with various activities, once again with the waiver of fees?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
A
Aye.
question.
Yes.
The bounce houses, you have the insurance for those, correct?
Correct.
And there'll be proper people placed there to
Correct.
oversee it. Will the people that you're renting them from be overseeing it, or will somebody from your staff be
The owner of the
overseeing?
company, which is me, will
Ah,
be there.
I feel good. Okay.
We're in good hands.
Okay, all right, I'm feeling good about it.
State certifications and licenses and insurance.
Okay,
Great,
great.
great.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
putting children.
Safety first.
Absolutely,
Yes, ma'am.
absolutely, okay.
All
All
right.
right.
And finally, is there a motion to approve a tent permit with the waiver of fees?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all of,
Mr. Chairman, just notice there may be more than one tent that's covered under that.
okay. That's usually tent in the plural. All in favor?
Aye. And of course, that'll be with all the recommendations from the police,
Yes.
fire, and recreation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. You folks are all set.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
for
If we
your
can
support.
do anything
And
about the
wishing much
weather,
success.
we'll
Thank
ward
you for your
dance.
support.
Very good. Good luck to you.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Not sure.
Okay.
I just didn't shake one person's hand, I guess.
It's all good.
It's
This
all
one,
good.
we'll let it go.
Okay.
Okay, well, you know. Well, here you go. Not a problem. Okay. I was gonna let it go.
All righty. Next, now we can go into Board of Health if you like.
Okay, sure, it's gonna be pretty simple, to go in. So I would like to wait for Nick.
Sure. That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I'm having flashbacks.
To-
Because when we had the meeting with the public health nurse
Mhm.
to talk about the grant, that was right before all things went downhill.
Okay.
So,
Should have kept her at your side.
well, you know.
know.
Oh, gosh. We went over the grant, and I am going to ask for Nick's assistance, pretty much. We went over the grant, and we found out that there were some holes, so to say, for our coverage. And the short of it is that we will have to get a nurse of some sort that will do our Maven reporting. Jump in at any time, Nick. And the grant is not going to cover the TB follow-ups, which is quite substantial. When we entered into the agreement with the several communities for this grant, we were under the understanding that it was going to be included and that it was going to be more than it was. However, when we originally applied, I think it was $365,000.
Less than that, but.
Less than that,
around-
and it ended up being $43,000, which was substantially less than what they had applied for and what they thought they were going to get. So I guess as a result of it, the services are not going to be everything that we had thought. We still have a substantial benefit by participating. However, there are some holes that need to be filled, and one of those is the Maven reporting, and that needs to be done daily. So I agree with Nick that we need to look at that and figure out a way to make sure that all of our needs and all of our anything that's required for us by the state, that we're making sure that we're meeting what they're asking for. So
is there some understanding of how many hours we're lacking as a result of the downgrade of the grant?
I don't know if it's so much how many hours, Nick. I don't know. Nick, jump in at any time.
Well-
I don't know if it's going to be a matter of hours, as more so as duties being performed. But
The Selectman Thorpe's described the meeting pretty well. You know, as far as
Yeah.
all of our understandings and how the grant, the grant, the
Yeah.
initial application and so forth is right on as far as what our expectations were. On an hourly basis, it's very difficult to say what that would be. It was our understanding that this reporting could be taken over through this grant, but
Right.
that's not the case. What it seems, and tell me if this is what you got out of the
Mhm.
meeting as well, is it seems like this is a grant that will be of benefit to those towns that have a public health nurse and/or department already in place. And that this grant-funded individual who will be working for the grant on Tuesdays and Thursdays and for upwards of 8 communities from here to Granville?
I thought it was Granby, but it could have been Granby.
Will be on a first-come, first-served basis, so that if, for example, we have a public health nurse in place and they conduct a clinic of some kind, it could be that we could request additional assistance, and based on the schedule, that...
Yeah, if
that-
she was available.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So what this means is really we need to have a public health nurse of our own in place to be able to cover these issues. And also to keep in mind that our agreement with Long Meadow
Meadow.
runs out July 31st, and I think that that's going to be the end of the extension.
So I guess I didn't ask
Do you
the
really-
question right. I
oh.
guess if I did say number of hours,
Okay.
so if we need to have someone in place, is
I
that a 10-hour a week? Is it hiring someone?
I don't think-
I don't
It's
think
not-
it needs to be
Yeah. Quantified?
quantified as far as how many hours. I get what you're saying, because how can you
Hire someone
decide
without-
what the
yeah.
salary is if you don't know how many hours it's going to be? I think it's something that we certainly need to look at. I don't have all the answers right now. It's pretty much presenting itself and unfolding, because I was under the understanding if we got this grant and we participated, that we would be well on our way. And that's why the deadline on the 31st for the agreement with Long Meadow's nurse was not a concern. However, now that it is not the case, we do need to look at it and probably be able to have more information at our next meeting. But it's something that we certainly need to have on our forefront, because like Nick was saying, that agreement is going to end on July 31st. I don't think it would harm us to ask for another extension. However, I agree with you. I think it's highly unlikely, but we still could ask and see, because we're in a different position than what we thought we were before, because we thought we had the grant. I think it would be in our best interest to ask for that extension, so that we're not rushing to find a health nurse, and because we still have to define it also, and define what that health nurse is going to be doing.
If I may, through the chair, I know there was something in the reminder from one of the Long Meadow Board of Selectmen members addressing the fact that we were using their person, and it wasn't in a positive light, I don't believe.
Oh, okay.
Um,
But using, but
But
we're also
paying
we are
for it.
paying for
Yes,
it.
so
We
that's, yeah.
it's not like we're getting it for free. But certainly, if that, we don't want to tax our neighbors, because certainly we want to be diligent and try to find our own, which is the goal. I believe that if that's the pleasure of the board, to move quickly and swiftly to find someone. But definitely, we want to be diligent in what we're doing. I think we would agree on that,
Definitely.
would we not?
Definitely.
Ms.
And there may be somebody
Bernard?
in town, that might want to even, can we hire, actually, I'd be asking you this, can we
Okay.
hire a part-time?
I think we can.
Here
As
we
long
go.
as all of the needs are being met with
Okay.
Maven. And I'm sure Nick and I can have something to present at the next meeting.
Okay.
Just put you right under the bus.
Well,
Sorry.
Madam Chairman, I would suggest that if the board wanted to go so far as to say, put an ad in the paper between now and the next meeting and start collecting.
I would think before we would put an ad in the paper, that we would make sure we know that we define what we want. Because it's not cheap to advertise right now, but certainly just to make sure that we know what we want before we put the ad out. And so
Well, through the chair, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Since we're sort of under time constraints, would it make sense for maybe you and Nick, if you can get together?
Absolutely.
And then do that, and then maybe we can put the ad in the paper, and that way we're not, because I'm afraid if we wait till the 26th and we run out on the 31st,
Okay.
then we're gonna be, up the creek without a nurse.
All right, so the
So-
agreement is that Nick and I will get together, define what it is what our needs are, and then advertise, and then it's kind of backwards a little bit, though, coming back for
Well-
approval, but we'll work it
Well,
out.
hopefully we'll get some responses, and maybe next
Yeah,
meeting.
it's 3 weeks. We have 3 weeks to get it done.
Right, before the
But we're also
31st, right?
if I would ask that if we could ask for an extension to see if that was a viable possibility for one additional month, one additional final month.
Okay,
We could see. There's no harm in it.
Nope.
It doesn't cost us anything.
sure. All right.
So,
One
so
other-
I would entertain a motion to seek if Long Meadow will continue our contract for one more month while formulating a job description and possibly advertising for a health nurse to meet our needs.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? After you, a little backwards there, forgive me.
It's okay.
All right. With regards to I had this marked too. We got an A+ from the Massachusetts Department Annual Notice with regards to our drinking water. Got an A+. If there's any, I like A. We got an A, which I believe is the top form. Nick.
Mhm.
Okay, so we got good drinking water.
There-
Is
Um,
there anything else you'd like to add to that?
There's also a request for a contact on the Board of Health in case there is information that they'd like to send out about the drinking water, particularly in the event of an emergency.
I'd like to make a recommendation that Nick be the contact person if he has no objections. Otherwise, I will as chair. And if you would entertain that motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. So Nick, if you could put yourself down, please, for that contact person. Okay. MEMA has some recommendations that they have, tips to protect your home and property from hurricanes. I would ask that we give a copy of that to LCAT to possibly place on one of their screens with that helpful information. And maybe somebody could read it so that our public is aware of that. I apologize, I had it marked and I'm not finding it. Thank
Actually,
you.
if I may through the chair, what we might want
Yes.
to do also is put that on the town website if we can.
That's exactly what
Yeah, okay.
those are the two things.
Yeah, okay.
And then also, just so that you're aware of it, if the public would like to go to the website themselves, they would just go to www.mass.gov/MEMA. M as in Mary, E, M as in Mary, A as in Apple. And that information would be there. Okay. Can I get down now? Okay. There is a request for a memorial blood drive request by Sue Shockley on Saturday, August 24th, 2014 at Heritage Park. You received the paperwork. It will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It has been recommended by the police, fire, and recreation department. So I would entertain a motion to approve the memorial blood drive request by Sue Stockley.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. That'll be taken care of. And then the next is an approval for renewal for bowling alley license for Bowl for New England, doing business as Shaker Bowl at 168 Shaker Road. Nick, I'm sorry, can I ask why this is on the Board of Health? Is that, I don't understand.
It falls under the Board of Health.
It does.
Because of the nature of the license.
Okay.
Generally speaking, and certainly this board can establish its own practices, this has been something that the board sometimes has voted to approve and sometimes has not.
Okay.
There is a renewal license for signature.
Okay, is there any reason that you know of why we would not renew this license at this time, Nick?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay, so at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the renewal of the bowling alley license for Bowl for New England.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. There is also, for new business, a renewal for the funeral director's license for Frank A. Foresters at 220 North Main Street. I would entertain a motion to approve. Is there any reason, Nick, that we would not approve this? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the renewal for the funeral director's license of Frank A. Forrester.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Oh, we're gonna do it all in favor.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You
All in
you've caught
favor?
me before, so
Yeah,
I'm just
I
helping you
mean,
out.
thank you, I appreciate it. We are family.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? There's no opposed. The motion carries. There is a correspondence from the Department of Public Health with regards to death certificates. My understanding is that now the licensed registered nurse can now sign off on a death certificate. Before, I guess there was a question of whether or not it was legal, and I guess it is now considered to be legal, and they just clarified it. Is there anything else you want to add to that, Nick? Okay. Well, then that clears up my business. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, we're at the point now where all we have left is town council, and he's not here yet. Okay. I'm making a motion for a 5-minute recess.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Back, and the next item is our town council. Jim,
Good evening.
Did you have a nice
are
4th?
you, sir?
I did.
Good.
We did
Thank
too. Good to be here.
Okay, it looks like we got 5 items. You always have different color paper, is it always blue?
Second call, it's a fax.
Oh, very good. I never even thought about that.
What is it?
He said that way you can tell it's a fact.
Yeah. We have, I'm gonna take a shot at 24, 26, and 28 being open meeting items.
24, 26, 28. Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
And obviously 25 and 7 we'll save, and for the end of the meeting. Okay, the first item is the donation of land on Summersville Road, which it seems like it's finally gotten through all the legal,
Haven't done a thing.
not you.
Them.
Oh, really? I thought, oh,
It's
okay.
the same, it's the land. I spoke with the attorney
Yeah.
today.
Okay,
The land is in exactly the same legal situation that it was the last time they offered the property to
Oh,
us.
all right.
The only difference being that the husband of one of the owners of the property
mm-hmm,
has deceased. And so they're probating his estate.
Okay.
But they apparently have never done anything with the 2 owners who were deceased previously that we indicated to them they needed to get that cleared up before the town could even consider taking.
oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
and then Mr. Rosati's been calling, apparently called Nick today, but I just don't know that his attorney's getting the message to him as to what they need to do.
Okay. So we, did you contact or Nick contact the attorney, or?
I've spoken to him.
Okay.
I
All right.
I
Oh,
told
that's right. You said
him
you
what
spoke
he
to him
needed,
today.
and he was gonna check and get back to me, I believe.
Okay.
But that's the way we left it the last time.
Yeah,
and
which was a few months
nothing
ago.
happened.
Yeah, okay. All right. So that was an update on that, obviously. The Verizon lease.
I gave to Nick a copy of the lease just for his review as the procurement officer to make sure that the final lease was in conformity with the provisions of the request that we sent out for proposals.
Okay.
I have heard nothing back, so I assume that it was okay. And then I have a call, I also gave a copy to the Board of Public Works, Mr. Kelly, for him to review, because there was specific language they wanted in the lease that I believe I put in, and I wanted him to review to make sure that he was comfortable with it.
Okay.
I haven't heard back from him. I called him this morning, and he was either not in or tied up, and he hasn't gotten back to me. So, if the board has no problem with the lease as it's drafted, I would report to the Verizon people that you're okay with it, and I will confirm that DPW is okay with it. I've told them that I wanted Verizon to sign the lease first and then submit it to the boards for their signatures.
Okay. Very good. Next item is T-Mobile.
Yeah, I don't think this has moved at all from the last time this was on the agenda. T-Mobile is the fire station,
Okay.
the telecommunication tower to the rear of the fire station.
Okay,
T-Mobile is a successor to one of the lessees on the tower and wants to make some
Underground.
equipment changes, and as part of it, they want to do cabling. It's new cabling, and they want to do it underground. And we haven't got a response from them as to what it is they're looking for, because they're looking for an easement from the town. Two things: we've got to go out to bid under 30B. And secondly, you've got to get the authority from town meeting to lease or to give an easement to these people. If they want to just lease the underground without an easement, we could do that without going to town meeting necessarily, as long as it's not a long or substantially long-term lease.
There's a 320-foot area that they
Right.
want to cross over, so
Right.
so from the property that they currently have to where they want to extend, there's 320 feet that they don't lease,
Right.
but all they want to do is dig under, put something, and then it'll be back to normal. Is that,
That's supposedly they want to put a conduit in, correct?
Right.
From the street to their facility, I believe. But the question becomes, all right, when they put that in, what is it? Is it an easement, a right of their ownership to that portion of the land in order to run the cable? Are they going to be comfortable with just leasing a designated space to us and the dimensions of it? And if they are, then we're going to have to, through the procurement officer, do an RFP to go out and look for bids. Probably no one else will bid but them, determine what the value is. And we also probably need to have an appraisal done as to what the value of that 320-foot strip, and the 5-foot wide or 10-foot wide or whatever it is they're looking for there.
would the appraisal be at their cost?
We would require that they give us the money to do an appraisal or to get it done. It should be.
I'd like to move to go into executive session to discuss strategy and preparation for collective bargaining negotiations with union personnel, because to discuss these matters in open session may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the town, and move to go into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to litigation matters, because to discuss these matters in an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigation position of the town, to return to open session only to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
second.
Any discussion? Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Thorpe?
Yes.
Selectman Bronski?
Yes.
Selectman Federici, yes.